shining star, shine. Okay, no. Happy New Year, all these things. It's One Piece time again. Let's do the thing. Let's go! Hello. It appears I have to log into the chat function so that if anyone comes along, I can chat to them. Please excuse me for the brief technical difficulties. La 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 da 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 da. I'm so sorry about this, people. You'll be able to skip past this. You'll be able to skip past this. And 8, 2, 1. Okay. Don't know how I got logged out, but I'm back. This is ridiculous. It's like OBS has changed some function and I'm... Alright, here we go. 5, 4. Fuck this, man. Alright, I'm here. Okay, hello, sorry everybody. Okay, One Piece chapter 1171, Ragnar. We got a fun little cover request by Reverse Kitten. A cat putting cat ears on Zoro. Fun slice of life stuff you love to see in One Piece. Look, quick bit of where I'm at in life. I've been rereading through One Piece, so I'm gonna have to like change my brain from Alabaster mode where I'm at to Elbaph's mode because I'm all up in some crocodile shit where I've been reading. I'm glad that the actual story is back where it's up to because we've been waiting. All right, here we go. Scopper's saying so. If Harold left the castle in that state, he would have brought great calamity to the world. Okay, so this is the wake of the fierce battle at Orist Castle. At a taste of that hopeless future during the fight. No matter how badly we wounded him, his body kept repairing itself. It's shocking to think something actually stopped him. Wow. Right, so... Okay, so that hopeless future, that's a very interesting way of putting that from Scopper to talking about the sort of shape that the world would take once these celestial dragons and their extended gods' knights and their immortality powers really got into the swing of things. Far out, man. Far out. Okay. To think that something actually stopped him. That's coming from a Roger pirate, right? They kept the God's Knights at bay for years and years. But, like, he's still going like, nah, man, the power that Harold had there was something to be reckoned with. To think that you could actually stop that shit is impressive. And I really like that this is being fleshed out right now, because we've been so desperate to know who could stop these things. Did you know this sacred treasure would be that powerful, Jarul? No, I actually knew nothing about it. All I know is I get chills down my spine when I imagine what would have happened if Loki hadn't been here today. Yeah, you should, man, because Loki's a hero. I said it at the beginning of the arc. I knew he was going to be framed. I knew it was going to be terrible things that happened to our boy Loki. But Oda likes a mad character with a crazy smile. And sometimes he makes a caribou situation and it's a real evil motherfucker or a Caesar clown. But sometimes that smile is a wicked smile that means good things are coming. When I joined the God's Knights, it'll be a new dawn for Elbaph. Yeah, dawn of the bad fucking times. If you hadn't any wish, if you had any wish, simply name it, and it will be within your reach. You've truly endured a miserable, squalid life until now, my poor child. Wow. So here we've got it. Shanks sitting there mulling over the sort of the importance of someone being able to bring these immortal motherfuckers to a grinding stop, because like he's getting these flashbacks of his sort of his connections to the gods, knights, to the celestial dragon world. This here from Garling being like, yo, any wish you want. It's something that we've seen in so many anime, the notion of just like, you can have anything that your heart desires now that you have ascended into this realm of the true gods. There is always like this sort of notion of, now you get a wish. Forget your former life on the surface. The commoners down there don't even count as people. Fuck me. Yo, class conflict. Oda is hammering it here. Let's not have any illusions about this being just a fun pirate manga now. This is political. And it always has been. I'm a stay out of the rest of that argument, not because I don't want to have it. I do want to have it, but we do in the reaction. Shanks' arm here, okay. It's burning at him. Shanks! Hey Shanks, stop it. That's a bad habit. You should never resent the circumstances of your birth. Fuck. There's a very deep understanding from Scopper here. He sees Shanks just grabbing his arm. Just been like, I hate this. And Scopper can tell. Man, you didn't get to control where you were born. You don't control your family. All of those things, right? Like, man, why did Harold have to die? He was such a pure soul. If I had only been faster. Now, we've seen characters lament this sort of shit many, many times in One Piece. Like, people seem to take on the fact that people get hurt by other people personally. VV is a famous example of the fight where, like, again, my brain's in Alabasta mode. When, you know, when Luffy and Vivi are fighting in the middle of the desert because Luffy's going, people die, man. People are gonna die. People are gonna get hurt in this conflict, and you have to like understand what the notion of skin in the game is, right? And here it is. We got that another person, another idealist like Shanks losing it, going, why did Harold have to die? This isn't your fault. Listen, Shanks, you were here for a reason. Never been a fan of the whole reasoning argument. Everyone's life has some meaning to it. You just gotta hold on. Shanks is in the darkness, yo. He's not the only one. Here we have recently orphaned Loki. Is this what happens when you love your country too much? Yeah, is this the cost of nationalism? Loki's taking this away. This sucks. You know, this guy's dead. My old man's dead. I had to put him down. I had to put him down like a dog. He was a rare ancient giant, enhanced with even more power and an undying body. Emu time. Fucking, okay. Those traits made him a true monster, and yet he was still killed? Oh, this is awesome. This is huge. In the context of everything from the world century up to now, we are seeing a very freaked out Emu-san. Like, look at the motherfuckers huffing. He's huffing. Who could have is something unforeseen lurking on Elbaph? Is this where Emu gets the desire to come back with the God's Knights and go like, yo, what is it you've got on Elbaph that stopped my power? Because I am not okay with it. Wow. In all these years, Elbaph had something that could do something in this, that could tip the scales in this battle. But Emu didn't know about it, and the giants kept it hidden. This feels a lot like a Joy Boy move to me. This feels hockey rope style. This feels like somebody kept a secret like Nefertari Lily did. Like this feels like when you're in the middle of the shit going down in the Void Century, making very important moves to ensure that the guy that will take over the world, Emu, does not know about things like poneglyphs being spread around, things that are all of the future techniques that can possibly be used against Emu that are being proliferated and spread by various parties. Emu doesn't know how this works. That's fantastic. We should have the Abyss pentagram carved by Harold inspected. That is interesting. That shall not be necessary. It would only result in the death of another knight. Every covenant comes with a price to be paid, even for Mu. Oh, okay. He had no qualms about lowering his head to appease humans. All he ever sought was communion with other nations and peoples. Harold was a total aberration. So these guys are making it very clear. No, we're above them. We're above the humans. And that, it's just wrong what Harold was doing in their view. And yet, he was born with the blood of those savage, battle-loving giants. Had we admitted him into the government flippantly, his very presence might have destroyed it from within. This is wild. Like I even think he's thinking on these tactical decisions about the giants and the presence of Harold specifically much more than I thought. You know, Elbaph should never have known a king of his disposition. Forging a covenant with a cooperative ancient giant like him was an unprecedented opportunity. In other words, we came this close to fucking taking what they had. It was a really good time for us, the world government, to go and get our hands on that power. This disappointing outcome proves that history does not lie. We were always going to be incompatible. History does not lie. You know what that says to me? It says to me that the giants were anti-Emu in the world century. Never forget, Elbaph is off the D. Fuck yes, that's what it is. The ancient giants were friends. They were friends with Joy Boy, and that hammer, that devil fruit power being handed down from century to century quietly it's gotta be about bringing down Emu. It's a power he doesn't know about. He's completely rattled by it, and he's going, I should have known this. I mean, they are of the D. Jesus Christ. Does this mean, my friends, as we had long anticipated when we saw chapter 1138, when we saw the first, second, and third world, when we saw the mural, and we saw a man fighting alongside the Luffy-looking, Gear 5-looking warrior, and it was a big old ancient giant, and it was Loki. Loki is going to come. Think about it. Think about it logically. Loki idolized Rox. Rox's idol is Davy. It's a natural through current. This was always going to be like this. It's fantastic to me that this is like this. Not to mention that Loki's having this nationalism crisis here too. Is this what happens when you love your country too much? This sucks. This is it is laughable. It is laughable that One Piece isn't political. Oh my god. All right, here we go. The Elbaph is of the D, baby, baby, baby. This means a lot. And it also colors, like, a very strange thing that kind of comes up in my mind is, you know how Jaguar D Sol is a giant who is not of Elbaph, but is still a member of the D. The D can be adopted, remember? Like, it's not blood, necessarily. I think you can get it through blood, but the D can be adopted, I think. So, like, Jaguar D Sol is not an is not a giant of Elbaph, yet he is a D. And now we're finding out that Elbaph is of the D, right? My first thought was like, do the giants, like, was there a period in history where all giants were anti-Elbaph because they were for the D, whereas all the other giants were allied with the world government or something like that? But this is very interesting here, because Emma's like, yo, history doesn't lie. So there's clearly a massive gripe here with Elbaph and with the D. But Emu was trying to sort of insert himself into that through current, right? Like, the D of Elbaph and the wishes of the D was sort of being carried along, right? And Aim wanted to jump in at this tiny juncture where Harold was thinking, yeah, no, it's the world government. Aim was going, it was unprecedented. We had a leader on Elbaph who was so uniquely facing the world government. And that was what we wanted to take advantage of, because all along Elbaph has truly been anti-world government, which means, like, it means Eam's an idiot. Eam was an idiot for starters, because how could you possibly, like, have a place like Elbaph with the ancient giants and the understanding that they are of the D for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, right? How could you possibly have that understanding and think they didn't have something about them, like a secret weapon or something? Like, I don't know, man. Wasn't the whole thing destroying anything associated with the D? This also makes me think, how strong is your ancient weapon? Wouldn't you have taken out Elbaph when you had the opportunity? There are so many questions this raises for me about Eam. But my favorite fucking thing about this is that he tried to take over the giants knowing that they're anti-world government. Like, that was so sneaky. It's so to get with the times, fucking regime change-ish, right? To be like, if I could just change the head of this country, and maybe people won't realize that they're fighting for me now. I love it. I love it. Okay. Loki, after this, the country will be in disarray. I'm heading out to sea, old timer. I'll take the surviving soldiers with me. Loki got plans. Loki's got plans. What about Harold's final request? Tell the people of Elbaph what happened here. You know, you gotta tell them the truth, Loki. There's no way I can tell them the truth. Just drop it. All of you. Don't speak a word of what happened here today. Is Loki the acting king now? Has that happened yet? Like, in terms of, like, Harold's down and Jarul is an elder and Loki is the son of the king. Is he, like, just acting king, or would that go to Harden? I'm not thinking clearly on that. If we say nothing, who do you think they'll blame for all this? It'll be the same as always. Say I were to become king. Can you actually see me honoring father's ideals? I can only tackle this in my own way. With this ability, I'll settle the regrets of the old man and his soldiers. Ah, bruh. Oh, bruh. Okay, so for me, this is Loki's fucking ace mission, right? Loki's, you know, when Ace is chasing Blackbeard around, being like, you killed Thatch. You killed a member of the crew, and because I am supposed to be your superior officer, or because of the fact that you have crossed our father Whitebeard, I have to go and deal with this. This has such, you crossed the old man, I'm gonna go deal with this slight against the family energy. This to me feels very Aces going out to hunt Blackbeard for me. Oh, that's so cool, Loki on his redemption thing. Don't be stupid, Loki. The world government is a big organization. It won't be as easy as you think. Look at Shanks and Scopper marinating on that. Something big happened. Rest Castle was attacked, Your Highness. After that, I set out to sea. Hyrodin, by the time you guys returned to the island, everyone had already dubbed me Loki the Patricide. And I made no effort to correct that narrative, but it's not like I was crazy enough to brag about killing him either. I just didn't want everything he stood for to be dismissed because of how things turned out. With all that in mind, do you really think I should have told the people everything? Man. Wow, Hyrodin looks really pissed off because he's like, Dad's dead and you killed him. And what the fuck? But Scopper's being like, yo, he is telling the truth. So here it is. The end of the Loki flashback, I guess. For those of us that forgot we were in a flashback, that forgot because of God Valley and all the events that we would eventually come back to Loki and Luffy and the boys. Elder Ja Rule was always opposed to your execution. I understand why you chose to keep this secret. Wow, they wanted to execute him. And he would have done it. Father choosing death in the face of the government's manipulation. The world government has been our enemy all this time. I wonder, what did they do to Father? Now, I'm like, if this ain't scrubbing the woke bath out of Elbaph, I don't know what is. If these two talking about the giants wronged by the world government and the fact that they have traditionally, as proudly as giants, been against these people all along, if that doesn't get your old war battle ticker ticking, I don't know what does, man. Indeed. And now they've sent more knights to Elbaph. Some with deep ties to Harold. Even Loki doesn't know all the details about Harold's dealings in the Holy Land. Wow, Loki doesn't even know about all the deep sea contract and all of that. Hey. I can fill you in if you want. That won't be necessary for now, Yasan. We need no further reason to protect our country. In classic giant style, they don't need all the details. They just need to know what's righteous and fight for it. Alrighty. Man, Sanji looks like he is enjoying that smoke. Check. Alright, so the chains are off. Loki's chains are off, people. They're off. And these, from memory, were sea stone chains. And I had a big problem with the fact that most of the sea stone in One Piece comes from one place in the ocean. That particular place must have been absolutely pillaged and mined in order to make enough chain to keep an ancient giant back. That is a lot of sea stone, is all I'm saying. Like, literally being near this should make Luffy like it's the it has been described as the sea in physical form, in solid form. Like, anyway, for the sake of Elbaph, let's make a stand together. All right, giants are on the same page. Here we go. Woo! That's great, Loki. You can fight now. Roar! Huge roar from the distance, and A massive crash. That is a big skeletal warrior. And I think he's been knocked down from all of the rampaging up in the middle of Elbaph when he's fallen down to the underworld. This could be fun. This could be fun. Whoa! That's one of the monsters that was rampaging up there? They've got a ton of creatures running wild. Where did they come from? Isn't that a Droga? I never thought those were real. No, they're not. Mind you, anything that can be imagined can, in theory, become reality. According to, what was his name? It wasn't Louis Arnaud. It was one of the other One Piece cutaway narrator scientists. Yeah, okay. What's going on up there? Hurry it up, Hyrodin. Yeah, okay, so they're taking him up on a boat. They're saying, you need to get up here. We admit we prejudged you when we called you a king-slaying piece of crap. Ah, this is all of Hyrodin's guys. From Gerd and Road and okay, they're all saying they're really, really sorry. We're really sorry. But this doesn't undo all the other things you've done. Yeah. Shut up and go already. I don't need to hear you guys yap. Loki doesn't care. Get up there. Help. This is the best. I can move. It's so freeing. There's that great laughter. Here we go. Scoppo notices something. Hey, Doc. I know you want to take care of me here, but I'm worried about my son up there. Yeah, you make a great point. Be careful, Sanji. I've got it. Okay, be careful, Sanji. I've got it. Weren't you two gonna stay behind? What are you still doing here? So Loki's just like, Luffy, what are you doing here? Go. And Luffy's like, nah, I'm waiting to see you fight. I want to see this. I can tell you've been locked up and you're happy to get your chains off and let's see how it goes. All right, let's show him your power. Ragnar, squeak, there's the fucking squirrel. Yes, I love the such a nice touch that the biggest, scariest giant with the heaviest weapon that literally summons thunder is just like, squeak. The Droga comes flying in. The hammer comes. Boom! Niflheim! He calls it Niflheim. Oh! Bro! It's got more than one elemental power. He's just used frost powers, ice powers, a chilling attack. Oh my god! It's not just thunder. This hammer is way, way better than that, yo. We got chilling from Niflheim. Niflheim, which from my memory is where the underworld is. The realm of ice in Norse mythology. It's the cold underworld, baby. Oh man, this is sick. And what's going on? Is Luffy going, what? When he's seeing this attack? Is it Luffy that's going, huh? Because, oh man. For power scalers, the Loki shit's gonna run wild now. But in the middle of an ocean now, Loki is just terrifying. So hard to beat in the middle of the ocean now because he can use thunder and the storms, the clouds, but he can also freeze ships and water and shit, bruh. He can't swim, but he could technically hit the water and run on it. Man. This guy's he's somewhere between the strength of Yadoris and Broggies, but then you plus that to... No, it's much more like the strength of a Harold plus the Aokiji ice buff and the fucking Enel ice thunder buff. Like, ay, 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 ay. Still though, favorite part of this is that the Elbaph are the D, bruh. We're finding out where people sat on either side of this conflict. And we're also finding out what kind of propaganda was spread throughout the world afterwards. Like, is there a good reason, right, that the giants have a problem? Human beings have had a real issue with the giants, but they've been made to do so, I think, by the world government. The prejudice against the giants is by design, I think. I'm starting to feel that the prejudice against all of these races is by design, like Fishman, etc. Right? The world government came down and thought humans are easier to control, or literally thought humans were better. Because at some point in the history of One Piece, something profound happens where you've got humans against non-humans in a sort of racist way. Like, you know, humans think they're above mermaids, they think they're above giants or whatever. They can sell them at human auction houses, right? There's a slavery era in the One Piece world as well. And I don't know whether or not humans were giant slaves or the other way around. I don't know how this all works, but I can say, I think, like, the world government as it exists now didn't fight alongside the giants in the Void Century. It's looking more and more like there was sort of like a rainbow coalition of like different races who fought with Joy Boy against the humans, who I believe had the wool pulled over their eyes and were made to believe, you know, the racist propaganda. Because the world is such a place now with the we're at the Reverie. You've got kingdoms around the world constantly, like Harold and the Fishmen, trying to get a seat at the table. There's got to be a reason why Emu is so human-centric at that time. Because around the Void Century, there has to be a real divide between those that are human and those that are not, I think. It's feeling like that to me. But my brain runs wild with the imagination. It's the giants being the D is a huge fucking deal. And the fact that they handed something down that can fight and deal damage to the immortal aspect is really important. It feels so Nefertari Lily too, and it feels like hiding the D, like the Nefertari family did, and it feels very. I guess the greatest weakness I'm seeing now from Emu, other than like the arrogance, is like an inability to accurately perceive who is still with the D and who is still like hiding out, which is wonderful, because him not knowing them not knowing who their true enemies are is going to be the only way that the world government's going to come down in this form. Bro, I enjoyed that chapter. Happy New Year. I'm glad One Piece is back. I'm so glad One Piece is back. Now, there was something that Scopper said before to Shanks. It made me feel, it's about, you should never resent the circumstances of your birth. The circumstances of your birth. Lots of thinking to do. Thank you everybody who came. Thank you everybody who still around. And yeah, as always, like, subscribe, send abuse. The saga continues. Oda's back. One Piece is back. But unfortunately, we have a break week. So, it is how it is. All the best. See you later.